Hey everyone, this is Hannah Fletcher. Welcome back to Muse. I am speaking with Sarah Rose. First of all, Sarah, happy Monday. How are you feeling? How's everything been going for you so far?
I am great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Awesome. I am really excited to speak with you. So, first of all, congratulations. You have 1 million followers on TikTok, which I think is incredible. And I'm really excited to do a deep dive into the type of content that you make because it's different. And I personally am a huge fan of anything surrounding like true crime and talking all about these types of cases and these types of things. So, first of all, where did your passion for creating content like this come about? How did this originate for you? And when did you decide that you were going to make this like the type of content that you wanted to create?
First of all, thank you so much. It has been such a cool opportunity. It started for me, I guess, going on 3 years ago now, spring of 2020, 21. And at the time, I was in college at the University of Kansas, and my drive was like 4 hours to school. And I started listening to Crime Junkie, which like was my first exposure to the topic at all. And so me and my friends started listening to it, and we would talk about cases. I've always been the kind of person that's just curious about people and like their motivations and all of that. So it kind of opened me up to a whole new world of it. And then shortly after I started listening to that series, I was kind of like going back home from college a lot with it being COVID. And so I just kind of started writing. Things were so crazy in the world, and I've always loved to write. I started writing about cases, and there was this one that really bothered me. It was Sanaya Amenhotep. It was her case. And I just totally took a chance and like had a little thing written on it, posted a video, and then the morning my friends like Sarah, your video, it went viral, and like, oh my gosh, at the time it had like 80,000 views. And so of course I was super excited, didn't expect that. And then I just kind of kept going with it. And it has been so cool to see how it has turned out. And I've learned a lot. So it's been awesome.
That's great. Well, what I love about your platform too is see, I'm the type of person, the type of content that I like to make in my free time is like entertainment related. But what I love about with yours is like you're using different forms of sourcing and everything to be able to raise awareness and to be able to educate. And I think that it's so important, especially nowadays with all of the different versions of like ways that we can, be more aware of ourselves and our surroundings. And now we have this whole cyber factor and everything like that. So I love the fact that you talk about different types of cases, different types of crime. What is it for you that you deem as a credible source in order to be able to go and dispel all of the information? And about how much time does it take for you to be able to put everything together, shoot your video, and figure out, okay, this is how I'm going to summarize the case and where everything's at and deliver the news to my audience?
Sure. So in terms of finding credible information, I really want to depend on news sources. That being said, like I can find cases on like blogs, YouTube channels. I have a lot of different ways to find cases, but if I'm going to state it as fact to that many people, I do want it to come from a news site that's talking news, that's citing their sources.
Mhm.
So that is how I use that. And then in the cases where there's little social media bits, like something I find on Facebook that I do want to include, I'll mention that social media and take that with a grain of salt, which is super important. And I think you're right. Like a lot of the times when we see this kind of content, you don't totally see it happening there for maybe not the right reason. So it's so important to focus in on why we're telling these stories and get back to we're bringing attention to these factors so that it doesn't happen in the future, and really bringing that into like my information too.
I love that. Where do you foresee yourself and your content in the years to come? What type of goals do you have for yourself? Whether these are solidified and set in stone, or whether even these are just like dreams and aspirations and hopes that are maybe a little bit unarticulated at the moment. Where do you see yourself with your content as you continue to grow?
I'm super, super excited to start long form content, to really have the opportunity to dive into these cases. It's getting a little bit more difficult now. I just feel like I have, with every case, there's more I want to say. And it's so hard to sometimes get these cases in to 2 or 3 minutes. So I'm really excited for long form content. I'm really excited for the opportunity to start working with families more directly, which I am a little bit now. I have like where you can send in case requests to my channel of cases that are close to you and like give me your contact information. And so we can go from there, and I get a lot of good information from families like that. But I'd love to really work with a family on a project for a specific cause and really make a difference in these cases. So that's something I'm super excited about, and just more opportunities, collaborations, working with more people in the industry, networking. I'm super excited for what's to come.
That is so wonderful. I love the fact that through your content that you're able and willing and eager to continue to make an impact and to continue to
Oh,
raise
yes.
awareness and make changes like that. I think that is so important. What did it feel like, obviously, with having your content creation journey? As you mentioned, you've been doing this for about 3 years now, but then now you have a team like Viral Nation stepping in, and they're there to assist you, and they're there to listen to you and help you narrow down your goals and your hopes and your dreams. What was it like when you found out that you had the opportunity to work with such a renowned agency such as Viral?
First of all, it was so awesome. It was just so validating for all of like the work and like dedication I put into my content to have them say, like, we love this, like we can see this for you. It's just been, first of all, so great to have that support and like know that they love what I'm doing, they believe in what I'm doing. So that's been awesome to have. And just in terms of opportunities, they're just connecting me to so many people. They're giving me such great ideas. Um, for the future projects that I wouldn't have even known I could be involved in. So it has just been really awesome all around. And my team is great, Lauren and Joanne and everyone. So it's been awesome.
That's wonderful. I love to see, again, people like you that are given the opportunity to take those next steps and to be able to make your content and bring it to a bigger light. I'm curious to ask you, when it comes to identifying content that you feel is reputable and like reportable, again, even with me, with the type of content that I identify, I can immediately look and say, okay, I know that this is going to gain traction, and then I know that this is going to maybe be more interesting, but this is not going to necessarily be the thing that pops off and gets the views that I'm looking for. What is it to you that you're looking at specifically with the types of cases that you choose to report on to TikTok? Are you looking, obviously you're looking for something that is probably a duality of both, but are you looking more for something that's more in alignment with your own passion, like what you would sit down and watch a whole documentary on your couch, or what is your caliber of judgment for that?
That's one thing that's really great is it's so easy for me to like find something, a case like on a documentary and sit down and take notes. And that's fun to me. Like I like doing that. So that's been really awesome. Sorry, I'm getting a little tripped up. Can you repeat the question?
You're totally fine. So basically, what is it that you're looking at that is deeming being able to be re-reported on
Cases that
through?
I'm reporting on.
Yeah. Mhm.
I like to cover a wide range of cases. A lot of the times, the cases I cover are cases where I see like myself as a potential victim, like kind of cases that scare me, like scare people that I can think of in my life. So I want to talk about these cases. They should be talked about. People need to know about these things so they don't happen again. Like when I see a case like that with like kind of blatant warning signs or just things that can be talked about, I immediately like want to cover that case. There's also cases that I'll just be interested in, like I do see in a documentary, and I'm like, this is a great case that I can dive into that I think my audience will probably be interested in as well. Um, and then, yeah, a lot of the case suggestions, the case requests, I love to talk about cases that are close to my followers that they want to see. And the whole thing from that is it's like, tell me cases that I won't be able to find, like on my news sites, on my blogs, like cases from your hometown that would only be covered locally. And that gives me an opportunity to cover cases that I just wouldn't usually find, that you can bring a little bit of a spotlight to, which I love to do.
I love that. In your opinion, and I'm really curious to ask you this, we have cases like the Gabby Petito. We have cases like the Madeline McCann, right? Those are breaking national headlines, national news. Everybody's heard about them, whether or not they know about it in depth. The Idaho situation with Brian Koberger. What is it that you think, in your opinion, again, that makes these stories hit national headlines versus the ones that might be the small town crimes that never make it to that national level? Do you have an idea as to what maybe is making those more national and sensationalized as opposed to other local cases that we never hear about?
Yes, I think I've thought about it a lot. I think one of the biggest things, like, first of all, is just the like with the Idaho 4, Gabby Petito, their lives are on social media and like you can watch their videos and go through their page and feel like you know them. And I think that's like one of the biggest things. Of course, unfortunately, race does play a factor. When you look like this, you're going to get more attention inevitably. But beyond that, I see other cases of people that do look like these people, and their cases still aren't getting that mega attention like Gabby Petito, the Idaho 4. And I think that might go back to social media and just feeling like you know them, because that's like how I felt after watching all of Gabby's videos and covering her case. You really feel like you know her and you can really follow along and feel like you can really relate to their life. Like when they're on social media like this, a lot of young people too that are on social media, it's a page just like theirs. So I think it's really makes it feel a lot more real. And yeah, of
That's a really interesting point. I'm always curious to gain more insight into that. So thank you for sharing it.
course.
I just want to say thank you so much for speaking with us. I'd love to give you the opportunity to plug any social media handles, any links, anything like that that you would like to plug so our audience can stay tuned with everything that's going on with you.
Yeah, my TikTok is at crime_cast, and then my Instagram is at sararose.crimecast. So those are the best places to find me, and hopefully I'll be on YouTube soon.
I love that. Well, I am so fascinated. I'm so excited. Thank you again for taking the opportunity to speak with us and for having a platform such as yours. I really love your content and I've learned so much. And I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I can't wait to speak with you again soon.
Thank you so much for saying that. It has been the coolest opportunity, and thank you for having me.
Definitely.